Kim, we made it to the last
Last
episode.
episode. So welcome
Wow.
back to Wanderlusty. This is our last episode of the season.
The very last episode of season two, or, you know, one of them numbers out there, honestly. Because I
Yeah.
love how you kind of have the numbers like from the start to wherever we are,
Yeah.
like that kind of way. Cause I'm like, oh, that is good stuff. And I'm like, okay. So whichever y'all have in y'all head and y'all kind of like chronological orders, then we are ending it. This section is the done. So we moving on to season three, which will come back sometime soon. We
Yeah, very
will be in the
soon.
works. Just keep on being on the lookout. We're still on Instagram and YouTube, so y'all can just go and review yeah, all our other videos with all our guests that we had on this season, first season, which
Mhm.
is a really bomb time, and we kind of bodied it. So I think we did a good
Yeah.
job. Yeah.
I was thinking of putting something together with like our favorite moments from like every episode. Um
That
which
would be
could be,
fun.
yeah, just like a nice way to wrap it up and to like watch back through. I like watching them and then forgetting about stuff I've said. It either
Oh my
goes, it's
goodness.
like one of two ways. Like I hate it and I'm like, why did I say that? Or I'm like, oh my god, that was so good.
I'm glad that you know. Oh my gosh, literally, that's how I be when I'm watching it. I be like, oh my gosh,
Mm.
this was said, and it just be like so funny. I'm not even gonna hold
Yeah.
y'all on a couple episodes. I had to let some stuff go because I'm like, hold up, some stuff, not everything is ready to put on blast just yet. Maybe when we not in the thick of things, it's like, okay. Which I'm like, by season three, a lot of these thick of things are gonna have dissipated. So get ready for that. But yeah, I think we just bodied it. You was probably saying something else, but I kind of ran with that.
No, no, you're totally fine. Yeah, just that. Um it's so fun splitting it into seasons, and yeah, because the whole purpose of doing it was because I was recommending this like change that we should do, and we're like, actually let's just like end this one and like like schedule some like different stuff or like talk about
Yeah.
some like other stuff, and then we can just come out again, which is kind of fun because we can like every time we think of like some like a lot of new ideas, we're like, okay, let's stop and then like rebrand.
Exactly. It's like a part of the evolution process of us,
Yeah,
like
it's
as
really fun.
individuals, how we see Wanderlusty, like going in the
Hmm.
future. It's like I love that for us. Like we so innovative. Like we're adaptable. We're trying again and again and from different angles with different like techniques or ideas and strategies. It's so funny. Just like even like kind of doing strategy research. It's like who does that? But it's like, when
Yeah.
you want the quality type stuff that you want, then it's like,
Yeah,
I gotta
exactly.
see how the best did it. So and
You
just
know what I was
implement
thinking
little things.
about?
Mhm.
And not that I ever want to work for somebody else, I guess, but what I was thinking that like just like in terms of like all this stuff I'm like trying to learn about social media and like YouTube and like podcasts in general and just like internety stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna like say that I'm like some type of like brand strategist or something like on my like resume or like CV or whatever. Like,
Like
because who can
what
say
you
that
thought
I'm
it
not?
was? What you thought it was, Kim? They gonna say you. Like that was a given. Like we created, we did some stuff. Like y'all
Yeah.
going because that's all I got to say. Yes. Like this is a whole different like sector of like skills and skill sets that we like
Yeah.
have that we can now like utilize in different type of like areas, because I always think about like going back into corporate America or like
Mhm.
anything like more industry that way compared to like self employment or something like that, doing your own kind of
Yeah.
thing. But and like, yeah, the thing is I'm really trying to like build up as many skills, or like trying to like really cement as many skills as I can from like us doing this journey, or like other creative processes that, you know, I've tapped into. And like if I want to go from the bottom up to in some type of industry job or whatever, like some media job or whatever, then it's like, okay,
Yeah,
like look at all these things that, you know, I can show for like myself outside of having like any type of like expertise in that already and stuff. So it can already
exactly.
kind of
Yeah,
show for itself, you know. They love for you to show like how you
definitely.
did it or whatever. It's
It's
like
like a nice link. Yeah.
link right here. Thank you. Come check us out. They're gonna come over here and be like, let me listen to what they talking about. And then they're gonna hear some of the interesting tales. But the thing is,
Some of the trials and tribulations.
I love y'all and I hope y'all respect me. That's all I can say. The thing about employers, it's like, okay, if you hear all the stuff that we talk about and stuff, okay, here's the thing. I feel like if you would not hire Solange Knowles, um, you know, then I will feel okay that you wouldn't hire me, because I feel like
Mm,
she's out here getting lit, you know, doing her thing. You know, not everything's legal, at least legal everywhere. And you know, she got her
mm-hmm.
own complicated human expression as well. And so I'm just saying this in more of a classist type way, because I feel like you're discriminating against me if you be like, oh, you can't get this job because you did X, Y, and Z, or you talk about X, Y, and Z. But it's like, no, y'all wouldn't do that to like somebody who is a celebrity who got
Right,
all this clout.
right.
So don't do that to me. I'm a human too. I want to express myself too. I live a varied life as well. And if
Yes.
y'all need me to get in line, I will for the money. I will. I need to, you know, I want to live the life I want to
That's
live.
what
But yeah.
that's a whole like other thing to dig into, because there's like the issue of how social media, or like your social media and like your online presence affecting your job, or rather like people at your job caring about your online presence and your social media. And like
It's
I think we
like,
probably all had like experiences where it's like some type of interview or like something that we had coming up and it's like, oh, let me scrub my social media. Like I did that for an internship and it wasn't even bad, but I was just like, let me archive some of these things. But it's
oh,
just like, why,
God.
like, unless there's harmful stuff on there and you're like, oh, this person is not only a danger to my employees but like to the world at large, then okay, sure, like take that into account. But if it's just,
It's
and I
like,
guess that's like where people's opinions come in, because for some people, like being a bit litty and participating in that stuff, it's like, oh, you're trying to end the world, like you're harming like the
I'm
greater
not trying to
good.
do
So
none of that. I'm doing it because I'm all right. And as long as I come to work functional, and
exactly, yeah,
then it's really like no problem. Like, I don't,
yeah.
and it'd be like, I remember hearing about like some type of news story of like this lady, and she like had on her Instagram like her in a bikini or something, and then her job said something, and like I think she got in trouble or fired because of it. And I was
So
like,
what?
because I'm minding my business on my free time.
Yeah.
Like that's not even doing hours at work or nothing. I could see if it was something like that. And even so, I'm just like, y'all got us here for these 8 hours not doing nothing. And so I'm gonna get on my phone. But anyways, but it's like, she posted stuff on her own free time. She off that weekend, she can post her body yaddy yaddy. Like, I want to be able to do it all. And I want like, I think that could even like help build like better relationships within like companies and stuff, and create that. Although like people would be like, don't trust like business as like friends and stuff, like
Mm,
from that standpoint. But I'm like, I would prefer to feel more like familiar or whatever with my like business, especially if it's something that I care about and stuff. But anyways,
yeah.
where am I trying to get with that? Oh, I feel like you can like as like being authentic about that type of stuff, or like being able to like kind of show your other aspects of your life and like feel comfortable about it, and I feel like your job will be like in jeopardy if you like live your life. I think that would
Mhm.
even help, like, cause it's like, okay, it's like, oh, what you did this weekend? It's like, oh, I just was like, I had a couple of drinks, like with your boss and stuff, and it don't be nothing, cause you know that you about to go in there and boss up at
Yeah.
work. You getting paid a reasonable wage, a good livelihood, cause we gotta start there as well. But yeah, it's like it could build up. just such a better, like, I don't know,
Mm,
rapport between people. And maybe your boss might be like, oh, I'm human
yeah.
too. Like, ah. Yeah.
I had like I think working in the restaurant industry, it's like both sides of that, like both extremes. So it's like people who bosses who are like completely like you abusing their,
Hmm.
the fact that they're like running a restaurant, like and like really treating like servers and like other people as like, beneath them and
Wow.
stuff. But then there's other people who like are like I worked at this restaurant once, and this one of the managers, there was like 5 or 6 floor managers because it was like a new restaurant and they were all like taking on like different roles. And I remember like trying to clock out one night and you needed the man like a manager to like approve of it.
Hmm.
I think it's something to do with like the tips or something. And I'm like trying to get my manager to like please pay attention to me and let me clock out. And she's like flirting with one of the other like I think bartenders or beer tenders. Oh, let me not out like the place I'm talking about. It doesn't matter. Anyway,
That was on
but
y'all. Y'all should have been careful.
but so yeah, so she's like flirting with this guy and she's like, so what are you doing tonight, like where are you gonna be? And he was like, oh, I might go to Ladybird, I might go here there. And she's like, well, you might see me out too. And I'm like, if you just type in your numbers and let me go, I don't want to be involved in this exchange. And she was like like so slowly, like she would like look at me and be like, yeah, okay. And then like uh, but I was just like,
I'm
please.
about to, excuse
But
me.
and I remember I had a chat with one of the other servers and I was like, yeah, I just feel like this like Candace, that was her name. I was like, I feel like Candace
Mhm.
just like doesn't like me. Like I don't know what the vibe is. And this server was like Candace's like best friend that she hired. And she was like, no, 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 like she's really sweet and she's really fun. You just gotta like go out and get drunk with her and then like everything will be good. And at the time I'm like 19. And I'm like, I
How
can't like, and I shouldn't have to like do that in order for my boss to like
be
be
cool with,
regular with me. But
right?
I mean, I guess I mean, obviously like you out and you like have a nice time and you get to see another side of somebody, so then that like changes like what it's like to work with them. But I think at the time I was just like, yeah, it's just restaurants are wild and it was just a weird mix. And I just didn't want to work because I don't want to ever work, so
That no, like I did not come to this life to work. A majority of my life, I'd rather daydream more. So that's
yeah,
my trade out, to be honest. But oh my gosh, like what you said, like just working in any type of like industry like that. That's why I posted that thing on my Instagram. It was like a post about like it was a TikTok and it was like this subway worker who was working and then like they were like when it's like a rush and some
oh
family
yeah, and the
of
kid,
six
yeah, yeah.
decide to use this moment to have their like youngest child like learn like how to speak or something like learn something like that, like pretty much how to like start asking for their own food and stuff. But the child was like, I need like it was just like a lot
You, 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 when.
going on. And I was like, that is literally like these type of experiences are, if anything, like I think everybody should low key be exposed to them. Kind of how like other
Yeah,
countries, I said this too as well. Like they be, going to the military 17,
yeah,
18, and then they can do their thing. We need everybody to understand that it is terrible working in
yeah.
these
Food
industries.
service, customer service, yeah.
It's just, oh my gosh. And people on the other side who don't have that experience or whatever, they don't have no sympathy. Like they don't
Yeah.
care. They don't, and they don't, it just sucks also because it kind of ties back into like classes kind of ideas too. It's like looking down on people because they work in this type of job as opposed to something that
Mhm.
you deem more valuable. But it's like they getting you your coffee every day. They are
Yeah.
making sure your food is getting to your table or whatever. And it's like, oh, you need to. I don't know. That's my TED talk on that. But yeah, I don't know where I was running off with that, but I could take it. Can you dig it? But you were saying something else. That I was like, I wanted to respond to. But maybe that was it. It was also that other thing that I sent
Probably.
you on the gram about yeah, everything been still kind of, well, now you said that the things are like kind of backed up since things are opening up again, but like that I
Yeah.
sent you about.
Yeah, I think about like England's like service industry like just sort of like drowning right now.
Yeah.
Which is like really awful.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
know how there's like the part of Newcastle that we're in, we've seen there's like a lot of like small or specifically I'm thinking of these like two coffee shops that are like kind of
Mhm.
small, and one of them was like shuttered like all for like a couple months, and then I was like, oh, I hope they survived, you know, or because I went there like one time like during like the first time I was here,
Mhm.
but they opened up like only on the weekends now. They're doing like a little thing, and so I'm like, that's good because I know like a lot of like small businesses and stuff in America too like didn't survive. And then Peter was telling us that in London, because he's going to an art school in London, but he's doing it online because he had to go back to
Oh
Italy.
yeah.
But most of the other students are in London, and they're just like it's a ghost town, and so many businesses are, you know, because
Wow.
they weren't open, they made no money, so like they're no more and
Mhm.
stuff. Um, yeah, so I'd be interested to see like once England opens up, if uh anything is able to come back or like how that's going to work. But
Was there any places with carry out open and stuff?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. So like there's like a lot of restaurants are doing carry out still. Like I don't want to say yeah, probably like most of them, like how about half or something. And then they did recently the outdoor seating thing, but then there's
mm,
like, you know, you can't have like more than 6 people to a table, and like a lot
mhm.
of the places are like booked up in advance, which I was like telling you. And then some of them like don't do online booking at all, so it's just like first come first serve, which I obviously prefer because it's just like, you
And
know,
then
you
you
just
gotta
walk around
pay
and
and pay.
see what's up. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's making me miss America a lot because I'm like seeing some of my friends like in clubs and stuff, and I'm like, wow, I'd love to just put on like a
But
freaking dress and like be able to go out, but like I honestly won't be doing that.
mhm.
And I don't know when.
You can
So
still get dressed up.
um
You might not be able to be at
yeah,
the.
definitely I do
Mhm.
I still do it, but it's just like not I
Hitting.
mean it's just different.
It's not giving what
But
you want
I
it to
don't mind. I
be.
think I'm like for the first time I'm like going to parks and like doing picnics and stuff all the time, which I like didn't do like super often before. So that's fun. So I'm
Me
doing like
too.
stuff like that, yeah, which is really calming. And then it's like you can still get drunk in the park. The only problem with that is that like we had like 2 weeks of really nice weather, and then it just snapped back so quick, and it's just raining, it's cold, and
That weather be like
like
sight. You thought you were about to
yeah, yeah.
live it up, but
I had a whole just a whole like thing where I was like, oh my god, like England is like this for like most of the year. Could I live here with it being like this? Am I just going to be depressed all the time? And then I was thinking of like warmer climates, like where I could go.
mhm.
And then yeah, when I was like thinking about like stuff we could talk about in the pod, and I was like, oh my god, let's just like let me research more about Ghana again because I
Mhm.
love to fantasize about moving over there and like
It can be a
building a
reality.
house, getting like
Happen.
a dual citizenship.
It can happen. It can happen, and I'm into it because it's like they already saying, "Can y'all come over?" But I'm also
Yeah,
like, "Stop wilding over there." But I'm also
exactly.
like,
That's what. Yeah, it was like fun to like just doing the research because I was like, let's see what's really going on because
mhm,
I get videos like on YouTube all the time that I'm watching to see and I saw this video of the president from a few weeks ago, and he's talking about LGBT you know, just life in Ghana, and he was like
never
I
that.
think he studied in the UK like in the 60s and 70s and stuff, and he was like like I saw gay liberation happening in England and like, America, and he was like, and that happened because there was like people in the streets demanding for it, and he was like, but that's not happening in Ghana, so that's why like the no laws or anything are being passed. And he was like, if the people want it, like they're gonna ask for it and they'll like have it. And I was like, oh, that seems really based, but I was like, it doesn't seem like, because he's not outright saying like sure,
Yeah.
so looking into it, I was reading this article, like a BBC one, I think. Um, but yeah, and they were just talking about I think specifically they were like homosexuality isn't illegal in Ghana, but same-sex relationships are like can be criminalized.
Yeah,
Um
that and like intercourse if you have sex.
yeah,
I was like, y'all is
yeah.
sick. Mind your business.
Yeah, and so exactly. And I saw this there's this like because it's like a very religious country, and I
Mm,
think like the church and the media and I think politicians like uphold the sort of the just the narrative of trying to like keep queer stuff just like suppressed, I guess. But there's this tweet that like some like I think church or like major like organization, like Christian organization over there, and they were like condemning violence against queer people.
mm.
But then later in in the tweet they were like, it is a sin though, and it's like not like a right, like it's not a human right. And I was like, why can't you just like
Like,
just say the right thing?
why did you have to end it on that note? And how is it not a
Exactly.
human right? That is so weird. That's
Yeah.
so
I
weird.
think it's that's another thing too, because it's just like Ghana is only like 60 some odd years old, whereas America is, at this point, I don't know, how old is America? 100, 300 years old? Whatever.
Mm,
Um, and
wow.
we still like, we're still really, really struggling. And it's just like, so I'm cutting them slack in the fact that like,
A
obviously it
ton.
takes time to like have all that.
Oh my gosh, because
Um,
it was, all that colonialism stuff back in the day
exactly.
that
Yeah.
really just pushed these narratives. They were even saying in that one, I don't know, video or article, yeah, that it was like some old British rule that started up like the whole criminalizing
Yeah.
like same sex intercourse.
Which
And
it
I was
always
like,
is. Yeah.
what? What? And so, and you know how we went over there, messed everything up, and then left, and now everybody like, oh my gosh, they still so da da da, like
hmm
they still whatever, not as advanced as us with our like ideologies or whatever, like, and it's just like because of what y'all did, like
Yeah. And it's just
shame
it's
on you.
really it's just like erasure as well, because
Mm,
like there's so many countries in Africa that are just like on the up and up, and like I think like there's the economies there that are like the fastest growing in the world, and like stuff is happening really quickly. But like when people think about Africa, they see it as like an impoverished continent where they just like can't get it together. But it's just like not taking into account like how many countries, like how many individual states are
insanely
within this
big.
place, and just like the range. And it's just I don't yeah, that's one
Yeah.
thing I wish that like growing up we had more of a solid connection or just education about Africa. And I like, because I don't know, I'm like, could I see myself like moving back to Ghana or like some other place that's like offering like repatriation to like African Americans? And I feel like it's something I'd really like to
Oh
do,
my god.
just so I can like explore like, because I feel like African Americans, just like the Black diaspora like as a whole, but like specifically like African Americans have like a really weird relationship, I think,
Mm,
with the rest of the diaspora. And like
mhm.
um and I don't know, it's just so many different things like that I feel like it's rooted in, like so many, just yeah.
Mhm.
But I'd like to explore that more. Here I am thinking, I'm like, am I gonna go to grad school to like write about like some I'm so
I
sick of like wanting to go back to school when I
yo,
haven't even finished like this degree.
I'm so I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Schooling has been on my mind a lot too. So I'm like, I was
Mm,
literally looking at not to completely change the subject because we're gonna get back
no,
to
you're
Ghana
fine.
because heard. But literally I'm trying to schooling is so weird. You have to have like this like track of stuff to like get to the random places that you want to go. But it's like funny because like throughout the process you're like learning where it is you want to go, and it's like
Exactly.
I wish I had knew this like this long ago. So now I'm over here like, dang, now okay, because ideally I think I was saying it before, but I want to be like a sexologist or like a sex educator or something like that. You need like some, at least like some prereqs or something in like psychology or like counseling and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I have none of that. Like I have to go back and get all of that just to live the life that I want. But it's like, okay, all right, if that's the way it got to be. But I don't know how I feel about psychology because everybody be saying it's hard. But it's been a long time since I've been in school. So I'm kind of excited about the idea of learning stuff that I'm like interested in. And I feel like I have a better idea.
Do your own research in and like, so would you go back and do like just straight to your master's, or like how do you think that would work?
I actually was talking to this girl who I met at the bar recently, and she was taking this like dual master and doctorate program, and I was just like, I didn't know that those existed. So I'm like, I'm really interested in doing.
Sounds really rigorous. How long is the program for?
How long I feel like her program is only like 2 years or so. I gotta ask her again. We met at the like couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and then her birthday was just like the other day. I didn't see her then, but like we hung out once in between like the time we met and then, and like I was just like, oh my gosh, she's so like smart. Like I was like scared. I was like, oh my goodness, like how are you doing like all of these things at one time? Like you about to become a doctor. Oh yeah, but if I'm not mistaken, was her literally, I think she's on the same education track. So thank you, Kim, for like making me think about all of this, because she literally, I think she said she wanted to become like a sex and relationship kind of like too.
Oh, that's really cool.
Thank you for reminding me, because I gotta. That's like, yeah, that's probably what we. It was a wild night. That's all I got to say. It was a really fun night. But yeah. So reach that conclusion. I don't know, just look, I'm not even gonna hold you though. I can't imagine being without like support and stuff though in this process, because like school is so weird and complicated, and it's like, where do I start? Like, what do I like first look for? Like, do I look for how much it costs? Do I look for like credibility, stuff like that? Because it's just different layers of like how you should look into schooling. It's like without help, like
there's this podcast, I think it's called like Black in Grad School or something like that, but like that's the whole premise, is they sort of just like talk to Black people and femmes mostly, I think, about what their process has been like in grad school and stuff like that. So like that could be a place to start, because I think they might have, you know, some advice and stuff like that. But yeah, I know what you mean. It sort of does just feel like sort of having to figure it out on your own, which is
I
not
didn't
the
have
best feeling.
Not the BEST, and I didn't have like much of an idea. I guess I kind of did, like, you know, I guess these have been things that I've been like attracted to for like a lot of my life. So it's like, okay, but how was I supposed to know? Anyways, but back to Ghana actually though, like in terms of like all of that, I forgot exactly what points you left off on, but I think the plan definitely in this lifetime, if the opportunity still exists by the time that I'm ready and get my paperwork in, of course I want that dual citizenship. Like, and also, I probably expressed it on another episode. I saw like this one like model, I guess she's like a fashion designer, and she had gone to Ghana for a couple, like maybe like a week or so. And it just looked like the place beautiful, the people loving and beautiful, the food, but I'm not gonna lie, her tax break is a little bit different than mine. So, but I feel like still, even for like, you know, the American dollar compared to other places, I mean, I would assume that it, you know, might stretch a little bit more, but it's no guarantee because, like we were saying, these are like places that have developed industries and stuff within like a vast amount of the countries and stuff. So I'm like, But also
Mm-hmm.
exploring the continent of Africa would be amazing. Like, have you done your
Exactly.
ancestry
And it's
test?
just like having a, oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was just asking about your ancestry
My
test.
brother did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So my brother did it. And I'm assuming that we have like the same
Me
like
too.
origins and stuff. Um, but um yeah, and I can't remember like offhand, but I know that like most of it was like Nigeria, Ghana, and like just like the like I don't know if it was like Ivory Coast or like if that's like a region or if that's like a specific place. Um and like probably some other stuff I can't remember. And then it was like an embarrassingly large percentage of like British and Irish. And
Mm.
then I was actually talking with my dad about this like holiday this summer. And he was like, it's like some city in Scotland, and he was like, "Oh, if you get a chance to go visit there, that's where like our people come from." And I was like, "Okay, Dad, I'm not going there, but thank you."
Appreciate it.
Maybe I would actually. That's kind of fun. I was thinking last summer about doing this project where I just like, because I have family kind of like all over America that I haven't met, and so I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I could do like a little like mini documentary of a road trip where I just meet everybody and like learn about like
Love,
all these branches of our family and
please.
stup.
I be
Yeah,
always
and
thinking
then I could
about,
take it international.
dude, that is literally like that's literally the plan. Like, get this family tree. I think that would be so delicious too to like
Yeah,
create, like, I don't know, like I just love the idea of like genealogy. And I'm like, I don't know
yeah.
too much about it, but it's like, just like kind of had that family tree even drawn up and stuff. Like, I don't know, I'm thinking back to like, what is it, the girl with the dragon tattoo, and just like how it was like
Mhm.
all of them and stuff. I was like, ooh, like I would like to write all that out, but like extensive. So please,
Yeah.
please, like that would be so cool. It's like, wow, all these folks in this one
Yeah.
family, starting with me, the best.
Starting with me. My grandmother had like a family tree in her Bible. So that's like a place I could start. Actually, I didn't think about that till just now. So thank you.
Come on, grandma. Yes, I love that. And it's like, wow, we really all are like connected. It's so weird. It's so weird. How did
Yeah.
we get on the
So
earth?
strange.
Do you have any theories
Oh,
on
right.
how the earth
Okay, so do you know do you know Prometheus? Or like the Alien franchise, I guess.
It sounds familiar. I think wasn't one of them scary?
In the um so there's like the Alien, and I think there's like two or three original films, but then there's like the prequels. And one of the prequels, Prometheus, it starts off and it's like this like, you know, like this really huge sort of like marble-esque like being like comes out of he's like walking, and I think he like drinks some stuff and it like disintegrates his body, and he looks like a proto-human, like sort of really strong soldier thing. And he like ruptures and like melts all down and like goes into some water, and then like um that's like the start of humanity basically. So it's like some far off like civilization, and they like, I think I was watching like some videos about it too, because it's like a really interesting series. But it's like the theories that they like create these like they just, yeah, like create these beings, or like, civilizations like out of themselves, or not civilizations, species like out of themselves, and just sort of like allow, yeah, and just like see, like what they get up to. And like at some point in the film it's like implied that something happened like on Earth, and they were like, oh no, and they like came to like kill us, but on the way they died. But it was just like, what happened? Like, what did we do that made them like decided like, nah. But
take them out.
yeah, so it's just like a really interesting theory. So I'm like, it could be cool if like our history is like based in this like far off like alien civilization that's created us. I don't know, that's like a fun idea, but
I like it.
it's probably like less interesting than that in reality.
It's
What
like
about you?
some dust just buckled over the dirt and then all of the sudden
Exactly,
humanity.
yeah.
But I don't have any solid theories. Um because it's like, you know, the way that like but evolution works like that. And I'm like, because I feel like it would have to be some type of way in terms of like reproductive like works and stuff like that. I don't know, because like ain't that how we that's how we did this thing so far. But what about after that? I don't know. I mean, what about before? I just because did we come from the trees? Did we come from the lions, the orca whale? Like, and then it used to be like they said we used to be different type of humans, or we came from apes. That's a theory.
Yeah. I think it was just like Neanderthals and like some other like I think is it like Homo sapiens and Neanderthals? I think that like lived at the same time and they were like different types of humans and like they just like sort of bred together and like bred out the Neanderthal. But like some people like still have that DNA. But
Lordy, me as my
yeah,
Neanderthal
I just
self.
it'd be so cool to like go back to like those times and just like look at them and just like see what they get up to in a day.
They like we out here making fires. We learning what fire is. We making spears. We looking weird, but according to modern day beauty standards, you know, they probably was the finest one. Was like the one with the, you know, was given that very much not, you know,
They're
just
like
giving
protruding brow bone.
it was just a lot going on. So, and they was like, "Oh, that's the one." They tried to go over there and be slick with their little kilts on, like their little whatever the one is made out of like animal skin and stuff, kilts or something like that. I would. We not gonna go too into detail, but y'all know. And then they try to bend over, and because they like, "Oh, I like that brow bone." And I understand and I respect that because it used to, you know. Now we just changed the game up a little bit. It's interesting thinking that like we are like descendants of like just all these different like old ideas and like just ways of living.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Has any been well the only consistent, of course, is change, but I'm like, I don't know. Do you feel like there's been consistent cultural themes, or cultural shifts throughout the throughout
Like
humanity?
history.
Yes.
Well, wait, so like different cultural themes that have like persisted or cultural themes that have like changed. Which one?
Oh, which one? Oh, persisted.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I think so. Like religion is probably one of the biggest ones. I think people like really keep connected to their culture and history and stuff through religion. Um I started watching Sense8 again and
Oh,
one of the characters lives in Mumbai, I think.
Mumbai.
She's in India, but she's like really like religious and she's like always going to this temple to pray to Ganesh, I think.
Oh.
And the there's like this thing happening where it's like complicated, but like this guy that she's marrying, like his dad is like really like excuse me, her dad or his dad is like really Western and trying to like do away with like Indian traditions and stuff. And like this priest is, or not priest, but this guy at the temple is like, you know, these are like our traditions, this is our culture, we can't just let go of this, we can't let him like destroy it. And I was thinking like, oh, like um that wasn't the first time I like obviously like had seen like a display of like Hindi or you know like religion in India, but like That I just like really thought about like how long I guess like these traditions like have been in the culture, and like I think also because I saw the temple and I was like, ooh, like how long has that been there? I'm like thinking about the history of like the construction, and so it just made me think about like just their history with it anyway. But I don't know. I think that's like one thing. Yeah, like religious people tend to have like stronger traditions and cultural stuff. I feel like, or like people of color. Um, but I'm feeling because I'm like, what? There's like no like super old traditions or things that like I participate in, which is like lame. What about you?
That's a great question. Oh, I mean, maybe Christmas, but like I'll be there for the vibe,
Yeah,
for the gifts, for the vibe,
yeah.
to give and to receive. But or the food. Um, I mean, besides like holidays, tradition. It's a no for me. I feel like
Yeah,
every day
exactly.
just be a
It's just
brand
like,
new day.
yeah.
Which is literally something that I'm like, I literally wrote into my in my planner, because I have this page where it's like my 3-month goals. Okay, if I can pull them up and stuff. But LOL, this is just like a quick little glance of my 3-month goals. But one one of them is like create a daily like spiritual routine, because I'm like, I have no routine or nothing that's like more like grounded in some type of like routine, or like something that I want to create, like in a way a tradition for me, like something that I know that like I fall back on or typically will fall into and stuff. Like other traditions, that's the, I guess like tradition is used very uniquely for me right now. But in terms of just like wanting to show up and stuff, and like making something like a consistent practice, because it's something that I think people value like traditions and stuff. So it's something that I value, and I want to like learn how to like value or appreciate it more and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I think a spiritual, a nice like, at least for me, I feel spiritual and stuff. So I think a nice like routine where I'm like trying to connect to that daily and stuff. And that's how like everybody who's like a self-help guru or whatever, or like, you know, this is the way to get it done, or this is the way to become successful or get to where you need to go, whatever. They always like consistency and like, you know, like
Yeah.
discipline, coming back to it again and again, and like, you know, really harnessing into like that practice, whatever it is. And like, this is just one thing that I'm like, okay, I want to like start building up like these routines, and then maybe it might become like stuff like traditions where it's like, oh, like I have like an annual thing where like friends come over and we have like a meditation or like yoga day and stuff, because I feel like more spiritually like prepared and ready for all that different type stuff. But I mean, that's happening. It's a lieu of ways that this could play out, everybody. So stay tuned. But yeah, I'm like, we can create our own traditions, I think, going forward, but also with like not such strict like structures as like the old ones, where they like, you gotta do it like this, or everybody gotta be there at this time, or whatever it looks like this, or you morally can't participate because you do that. And it's like, no, we all just vibing, we all here for the good energy. So that's it. That's it. But yeah, that was my little tip. I'm like, we can make our own, which I think would be so cute. I love for us in the future. I can't wait to see how the offspring of like this generation are gonna like turn out. They gonna be like so weird.
Definitely. And so much of that, I'm like, yeah, like where we like live like determines so much about the person you are. Like, so it's just like, I don't know, when it comes to like raising up a new generation, it's like what their world is like is so important. Just like even like on like the tiny like local scale, you know.
I be wondering how I wound up like this. I'm always talking to my one friend about like how I'm just like, I mean, we got it out the mud. Like we was living in the trenches a couple of the times, and like, you know, and people always be like, oh, but you like this, or you don't even seem like you from the city and stuff like that. And it's just like, you know, I don't know. I guess it was just like, you know, really kind of instilling that support within like my family unit and stuff that made me like not as influenced by like the outside environment. I mean, what I definitely was influenced in my own myriad of ways, but it's like Yeah, because the location really like in childhood development. There's just so many people who like aren't here to this day because like of just like the location and what they see in their surroundings and stuff,
Yeah.
and what they get into. So I just be like, I'm thankful because I could have just as easily slipped into them gutters and I'm
Yeah.
done for. And it'd be a daily practice to not do that because Lord knows I be going through it, but we do it up. We keep it going, everybody. But please don't mind me. I'm just over here like on one right now.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
So,
Uh,
yeah.
So
Well, I
y'all,
guess season 3 is coming to a close.
it is. It's coming to a close, y'all. I ain't even gonna hold you. We gotta, continue to build, connect, and thrive. And we'll be back, season 3 very, very soon. Just stay updated on the Instagram and make sure to reach out to us, DM us, send us little fun stuff, comment on our stuff because we love talking to y'all and we love our little questions and stuff when y'all respond on those are really fun on the story. I love those. And eventually upcoming, we got a lot of things in store, a lot of things that we still brainstorming on. It's just a different season, so we about to bring some different things and hot girl summer. That's all I can say.
Hot girl summer. Vaccinated girl summer. Not me though. Not
And
yet.
you know what? If I gotta get the vax to get to another country, I might just gotta get the vax. But yeah, we're gonna see how this play out. Ideally, Wanderlusty will be en route. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. But anyways, Kim, on this last episode of season 2, what are you doing for your day? How you about to do it up for them?
Go and see some friends, get some takeout, and have some drinks.
I wish. That sounds fun.
What are you up to today?
Nothing.
You can do some spiritual like guidance and like, practice and stuff.
Yeah, that way. I used to trap by the and that's exactly what my tail need to be doing. I really want to do some yoga, tapping. I need to just hang up some stuff, make sure my space is clean, my mind is clean, my soul is clean. Cause it's about to be a hot girl summer. Anyways, I'm just trying to realign myself because when it go down, it's going down on the Lusty Squad. So all right, y'all, we'll see y'all next season. Woo! Thank y'all for tuning in. Laters, y'all.